And they're up. Light breaks alertly on the outside. Coming up from in between horses now. There goes Dance Smartly, and Dance Smartly grabs a short lead. Sweet Sarita is moving with her. Wilderness Song is sent through an opening toward the inside. Light is now back racing in fourth position. Beyond Perfection is fifth. And then the favorite, Meadow Star, with clear running on the outside, now sixth. Through Flight is seventh. Wild for Tracy is eighth. Champagne Glow is now moving up ninth on the outside. Private Treasure is 10th toward the rail. Then there's a gap of 5 lengths back to the trailers. The late running Dora, Flawlessly, and Vermasso. The field continues down the backstretch. Dance Smartly and Wilderness Song. The Canadian fillies are 1-2. Sweet Sarita is right there. Russell Bays is busy on Light right there on the outside. Light now makes her move as they move into the far turn. Meadow Star's just 3 lengths behind her. Sweet Sarita was checked abruptly. The quarter went in 22 and 3:45 and 4/5 seconds. A blistering pace here for the juvenile fillies, and it is Dance Smartly who has a short lead. Light is right there fighting it out. Meadow Star now a threatening presence on the outside, fourth, and here comes Meadow Star, and Santos turns her loose as they come to the top of the stretch. Private Treasure is just in behind the lead, and the field turns for home with Meadow Star taking command. Dance Smartly is trying to stay with her, but Meadow Star too much now and draws away here as they come down to the final furlong. Dance Smartly on the inside second. Private Treasure is putting in a late run third. In the final furlong, it is still Meadow Star leading the way by 4, pouring it on now by 5, and leaving the others behind in the wake of her brilliance. A perfect season for Meadow Star. She wins by 4.5 lengths. Private Treasure was second. Dance Smartly holds on for third. Well, there she does it. A sensational filly, and she did it in sensational style today. Meadow Star, the perfect filly in a perfect year for her.
Fields sent on their way in the yellow ribbon. Off slowly was Lady Blessington. On the far side, we have Lady Shirl going to the early lead. Lee Reaver is caught wide. Flawlessly's right there with Appealing Missy. Campanard is pulling hard. Fire the Groom showing unexpected speed today. She's in the second file on the extreme outside. They followed by Free at Last. Alongside of her comes Once in My Life, then Flaming Torch. Alongside of that comes Colour Chart. She's back 8 lengths off the early pace. Lee Reaver has now dropped back to be third last. Plenty of Grace second last, and Lady Blessington trails the field. Past the stands with 1 lap to go, and Lady Shirl setting a very slow pace here. They're just going a steady canter up front. Appealing Missy's in second, and Flawlessly's right there third. Kent DeSormo has Kostromer in fourth position, 3.5 off them. Campanard outside of her. Steve Cawthon scraping paint on Colour Chart in 6 as 5 lengths off the leaders. Alongside of him comes Once in My Life. Fire the Groom is now 7 lengths off the leaders. Flaming Torch inside of her. Free at Last is on a tight hold. Now Jerry Bailey decides they're going too slow, and he kicks on with Plenty of Grace down at the rail. She's passing horses. Outside of her, Lady Blessington, and Lee Reaver is last, but 9 lengths would cover the whole field. They have a half-mile left to go now, and it's still Lady Shirl taking them along. Appealing Missy goes to put pressure on her. Kostromer and Flawlessly right alongside of one another, and Campanard in the white on the outside. Now you can see them quicken as they go for home. Plenty of Grace. Colour Chart is next. Fire the Groom still has 8 lengths to make up, a quarter of a mile to go in the yellow ribbon, and it's still Lady Shirl and Appealing Missy. Kostromer crying out for room at the rail. Flawlessly in the back gap now coming on the grandstand side. Colour Chart looking desperately for room. Campanard is on the outside. Lady Shirl, Kostromer sees a hole at the rail and explodes, and Kostromer, like the true champion she is, Kent DeSormo puts the stick away and
another big turf race. Sunday's Beverly Hills Handicap at Hollywood Park. This for fillies and mares going 1 mile and 8. The heavy 3 to 5 favorite here, Kostroma, is just on the outside of the leader. The second choice, Flawlessly in the colors of Harbor View Farm.
5/16 to go. Still the 2 favourites stride for stride. Flawlessly at the rail. Kostromer on her outside. The long shot Indian Chris trying to run a big one in the red cap, and then El Cantu. Lady Blessington can't go with them. Homeward bound now. Flawlessly and Kostromer. A terrific match race on our hands here. These 2 brilliant fillies come through the lane together. Flawlessly and Chris McCarron at the rail. Kostromer and Kent DeSormo on the outside. Flawlessly going slightly better. Kostromer's tough and comes back. Flawlessly, Kostromer, Flawlessly, one at a nose.
The only American-bred horse in the race wins it. Flawlessly, owned by Harborview Farm, the Wolfsons, trained by Hall of Famer Charlie Whittingham. Fought back after losing the lead to win by a head over the favorite Castroma. Only the second loss Castroma's had in 8 starts. The previous one also coming at the hands of
trainer of Light. Now back to you, Chris.
Thank you. I'm sure that analogy with the Final Four wasn't lost on his friend Bobby Knight watching. Let's take a look at the post-parade for the Matriarch. This is Sporadies. And a change in the ownership. Paul de Mozac is the official owner, trained by André Favre, winning his 6th training title in France. Sporadies is a winner of a great Group 3 race in France in her last start. One of only 2 3-year-olds in the field. The rider is Gary Stevens, and she is at 25-1. Stevens mounts have earned over $10 million this year. Superstaff, the $160,000 Keeneland sale purchase. Daughter Secretary just won the yellow ribbon in the Las Palmas over Flawlessly, has been first or second in 7 of 8 starts. Ron McNay, the trainer, Eddie De La Jose, the rider, leading Hollywood Park rider, and of course 2 victories in the Breeders' Cup Day. 5-1 on Superstaff. The 3-horse, this is Jockey Cam, Campagnard. Alan Paulson owned, trained by Charlie Whittingham. Argentine bred mare at 30-1, looking for her first 92 victory in 8 starts this year. She was 3rd in the yellow ribbon. Pat Valenzuela, the rider, won 2 Breeders' Cup races for the Paulsons, the Eliza and Fraze, and again he's carrying Jockey Cam. The 4-horse is Castroma. Castroma at 2-1, the Beverly D winner, then out with a lung infection. She was a champion in Ireland at 4, 6 in last year's Matriarch. From the barn of Gary Jones, the rider, the nation's best, earnings of more than $13.4 million for his horses. Kent DeSomo looking for a 3rd Eclipse award for himself. The 5-horse is Retoss. Argentine bred, has been in the money 14 of her last 19 U.S. starts. Has not beaten top mares this year, but still earnings of more than $236,000. She's 45 to run. Alberto Lopez, rider from Mexico, Chicago, just coming to California a year ago, has the assignment. The 6-horse, the big mare, and this is the big favorite at 6-5, Flawlessly from the Harborview Farm. First or second in the last 10 starts, unbeaten on this Hollywood Park turf course. She won last year's Matriarch with Chris McCarron, the Hall of Fame rider, a 2-time winner of this race last year and also in 1989. The 7-horse, Light. A Keeneland sale bargain at $35,000, earner of more than $1.1 million, and at 35-1 today in her grass debut. She was a superstar as a 3-year-old a year ago, winning the Kentucky Oaks among others and earning more than $800,000. The rider reunited with her for the first time since her brilliant 3-year-old campaign. Corey Nakatani, she carries the colors of Oaktown Stable, the Hammer. The 8-horse from France, Hydro Colido. First or second in 5 of 8 career starts, all in France. You see this filly was allowed to break the parade. She comes off 2 poor performances in Group 1 races and galloping away here with Alex Solis. Alex is among the top 10 riders in the current Hollywood Park standings. And rounding out our field, the 5-year-old mare at 10-1. This is Lady Shirl, an Illinois bred, as you see by the symbol there. Expected to set the pace, representing Noel Hickey's Irish Acres Farm. She's the most experienced, making her 31st trip to the post. Been first or second in her last 5 starts, and most impressively at 5 different tracks. The rider, the great Hall of Famer of the feet, Pinkai Jr. He won. Pat Valenzuela's in. We're ready for the call. Let's go to the top of the stands. Trevor Denman.
Thank you, Chris.
Wait, boss, wait.
Last one left to load now for the Matriarch as Lady Shirl. She goes in quietly. They're all set. Field for the Matriarch, sent on their way. They came off to a beautiful start. Castroma immediately pulls her way to the lead. Lady Shirl being restrained on the extreme outside. Flawlessly's right there. Campagnard showing good early speed, and Superstaff down at the rail. Now Light pulling her way up in the black colours to race in second. Just behind the leaders comes Hydro Colido, racing only 5 lengths off them. Campagnard's taken back now. Down at the rail comes Sporadies, and Ritas' last 8 off them. They head to the 3-quarter pole, and it's Castroma making her own pace, just going along comfortably on the lead. Has it a length and a half. Lady Shirl on a stranglehold second. Then comes Light. Superstaff scrapes the paint in 4th. They're going slow, though. Superstaff's 2 off them. Flawlessly's 5th. Sporadies and the Stripes is in 6th. In behind that comes Hydro Colido. Here's Campagnard with Pat Valenzuela in the white colours. Back second last. Seeing a lot of horses out there. Got about 6 lengths to make up. And Ritas is running up on her outside. They have a half-mile left to go in the Matriarch. Kentasormo committed to go on here with Kostroma, but he's got to be happy with the pace. They're just going a steady one. He leads at a length to Light. On the outside is Lady Shirl. Lady Dalahousie looking for room at the rail now with Superstaff. She's keen to kick on. Flawlessly in the pink colours, racing in fifth, 4 lengths off them. Then Sporides, Ritos, Hydro, Kalido, and Campanard is last. At the top of the lane, and Kentasormo pushes the button on Kostroma, and she takes off. And just look at the acceleration of Kostroma. But Superstaff is top, and here's Flawlessly. The 3 horses to dispute the Eclipse Award. Kostroma, Superstaff, Flawlessly, but Flawlessly comes sweeping by in the centre of the track, and Flawlessly's back to her best under Chris McCarron. She wins the Matriarch from Superstaff. Kostroma didn't have it the last 16th and dropped back to run third, and Campanard certainly came flying late there to be fourth. Well, a coffee bog finish. The 3 horses the fans said would run 1, 2, 3 do run 1, 2, 3. Flawlessly sat patiently in behind them, exploded at the top of the lane, and Chris McCarron and Charlie Whittingham have an Eclipse Award mare here in Flawlessly. Chris?
Thank you, Trevor. So much of the conversation here at Hollywood Park this past week has been that Charlie Whittingham has not had a Charlie Whittingham type year. Well, this has got to make the Bald Eagle feel awfully good. Flawlessly, what a brilliant job he's done with this mare, Dave, owned by Lou Wolfson at Harbor View Farm. Charlie Whittingham trains her unbeaten on this Hollywood Park turf course, and what a finish.
And it was interesting from the word go. You know, it was surprising to see Kostroma up early. But DeSormo is the kind of a rider who's aggressive when he feels that the fractions aren't what they should be. And it was Flawlessly, Superstaff, and Kostroma.
Just like we set it up, Flawlessly, the brilliant daughter of the 1978 Triple Crown winner Affirm. You're looking at what would appear to be the Eclipse Award-winning filly mare of 1992, winning the Matriarch. Wait. Sired by Affirm, the Triple Crown.
Their position. Right here, Kentasormo says, okay, enough sitting around. Let's go on and win this one. And Kostroma gives it her all. You see her open up about a 2-length advantage. That's Eddie Dalahousie now looking on Superstaff with the shadow roll to come after her. Right here, Kostroma's looking strong, though, and she's really breathing deep and running her heart out. She ran an Eclipse Award race today, but first Superstaff comes to get her, and Chris McCarron just waiting, and he pounces now on the outside in those famous Harbour View colours that Affirm carried to so many prestigious victories. And here's Flawlessly, superbly handled by Chris McCarron, beautifully trained by Charlie Whittingham, going on to an Eclipse Award win in today's Matriarch.
Kostroma, 280. Not much of an exacta with the favorites. 6'2", 18:20. The running time, 1/8 on a firm turf course, 1:46 and 1400 seconds. Well, we gave you just a quick glimpse of Jockey Cam. Now let's have Dave Johnson with Pat Valenzuela take you back in. Heart of Joy, there's Flawlessly, the 4-5 favorite, highway to 125, scratch the 3 horse. Continuing on with the field, Jolifa, an outstanding stakes winner at 2-1. Pleasant Baby, Ritos, the Argentine bred, at 8-1 with Dalahousie. Let's Elope, the champion mare from Australia, and Kaleda Melody on the outside. Here's the call now, the Ramona with Trevor Denman.
For the Ramona Handicap sent on their way, they all came away beautifully. Ritos is going to the lead with Heart of Joy now taking over at the rail. Flawlessly getting a beautiful position just behind the leaders, and Jolifa is right on her quarters right there in fourth. Then back to Pleasant Baby. Let's Elope not showing that speed she showed last time. She's back 9 off the leaders, and Kaleda Melody inside of her. They head to the 7/8, and as expected, Heart of Joy goes to the lead, but she's sprinting along out here. Heart of Joy goes clear by 5 lengths. Flawlessly just tracking her in second, and Ritos outside of her. Jolifa is racing in fourth, still only 1 length behind Flawlessly. Then it's 2 back to Kaleda Melody. Back second last is Pleasant Baby on the Australian. Let's Elope bringing up the rear is about 7 lengths off the second place runner. Down the backstretch they go, and there's pacemaking. Heart of Joy is going to try and stretch out and go to the wire. She leads by 6. Here's Flawlessly and Jolifa right up alongside a winner now, and they closing in on that leader. Jolifa on the outside of Flawlessly now as they close in, stride for stride on Heart of Joy. 5 back to Ritos. Let's Elope starts her run. Then Kaleda Melody and Pleasant Baby last. 5/16 to go, and Heart of Joy starting to shorten stride, leads by 2. Jolifa is second. Flawlessly, Chris McCarron still got her on a long range. She's going easy in third. Let's Elope is running her heart out in fourth, has 6 to make up. Top of the lane, Heart of Joy, Jolifa, Chris McCarron. McCarran now asking Flawlessly to go, and here comes Let's Elope on the grandstand side. 2 Jalifa's the first one beaten. Heart of Joy's in front, but Flawlessly's now catching her stride for stride. And here she comes, the champion, Flawlessly, gonna do it yet again. Flawlessly goes on to win under Chris McCarran. What a run.
Flawlessly is just that, winning her 3rd straight Grade 1, adding the Ramona to victories in the Matriarch and the Yellow Ribbon. The 5-year-old mare is by a firm, bred and raced by the 1978 Triple Crown winning owners Lou and Patrice Wilson's Harbor View Farm. Trained by Hall of Famer Charlie Whittingham, ridden by another Hall of Fame.
Number 1 was Aquilegia, New York Handicap winner with regular rider Julie Crone. And number 2 is the champ herself, Flawlessly under Chris McCarran. Stepping up in class was Skimble with Pat Day. George Velasquez rode the consistent Via Borghese. The Modesty winner, Hero's Love, had early fires, and the New Zealand-bred Let's Elope and Pat Valenzuela once again were challenging Flawlessly in their rivalry. And from Europe, British-bred Lucas Skew and Frankie Dettori. Now, the Beverly D started out innocently enough as they came to the first turn. On the lead in the field of 7 was a Bobby Frankel-trained filly named Skimble.
Flawlessly on the outside, ahead up into the 2nd spot. Aquilegia restrained in 3rd by 3 parts of a length. Via Borghese on the outside is now in 4th position and inching forward. Let's Elope next. Then Frankie Dettori with the Pesque on the outside closes a bit, and the trailer is still Hero's Love. The half in a leisurely 49 and 2/5 seconds as they continue down the backstretch. Skimble has the lead by 1 length. Flawlessly is now in the 2nd spot on the outside. That's Via Borghese right there 3rd. Julie Crone saving all kinds of ground with Aquilegia in the brown cap at the rail. Let's Elope between horses, looks for a little racing room. Lepescu in the white cap on the outside. The fillies and mares are tightly bunched as they turn for home. On the inside, Skimble. Now Flawlessly, the American champion, forges to the lead with Chris McCarran aboard, and Flawlessly has a head in front. On the inside, Skimble coming back. Let's Elope with a late charge, and on the far outside, here comes Via Borghese and Hero's Love. What a finish to the Beverly D! Flawlessly on the inside. Let's Elope with the white blinkers. Here they come to the wire. Let's Elope, I believe, wins it by a nose. What a finish. 4 of them on the wire in 1:55 and 3.
Well, the race, happy fellow, but here's what the stewards saw. In the middle, Let's Elope in the white blinkers. To her inside, Flawlessly in the pink silks, and Via Borghese and Hero's Love to the outside. Pat Valenzuela on Let's Elope, whipping strongly left-handed, causes Let's Elope to duck into Hero's Love, who then brushed with into Via Borghese, who brushed with Hero's Love. Then he switches to the right hand and brushes with Flawlessly. And in a finish this close, that kind of brushing and bumping had a big outcome on the results. But it was Flawlessly who was placed first and gets the money. She paid $3, $2.60 and $2.10. Via Borghese was placed second up from 3rd. She paid $4 and $2.40. Let's Elope.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Flawlessly broke well. Ski Paradise is there with 4 Stars All-Star. Paradise Creek is in among horses, and Lure a bit wide as they head onto the first turn. Under the line the first time, and a charge, a crush of horses moving for the first turn. And Lure is caught 5 wide into the turn. Ski Paradise benefits from her inside post position now, and she goes wide and took many of them with her. Also going wide there was Barathea. The field rounding the turn now after an eventful move into the turn. Lure was taken wide, but now he goes on to take the lead. Ski Paradise, who was the culprit, is now back running in 2nd. 4 Stars All-Star is 3rd. Paradise Creek 4th. On the outside, Leck running in 5th. Flawlessly is now 6th. Wolfhound 7th, followed by his mate Catrell is moving up. Barathea moves through an opening toward the inside. Big Stone is being helped along with the half-mile to run now. Then it's Tussauds near the back of the pack and in behind horses, followed by Buckar and Johan Quatz. The half, a grueling 45 and 4, and Lure is trying to go it on the lead again. It's Lure the leader, pressured by 4 Stars All-Star. Ski Paradise is now dropped back into 3rd, and then it's Barathea who's now 4th in between horses. Paradise Creek on the outside is running in 5th. Big Stone looking for a big run now, and he's threading his way through between horses, but Lure looking for a repeat win in the mile. The leader a length and a half with a furlong from the line. Ski Paradise is resurgent again. 4 Stars All-Star. Big Stone is flattened out, and they're coming down to the line, and it will be Lure once once again overcoming trouble on the first turn, and he goes on to a clear-cut and decisive repeat victory in the mile. And Mike Smith is pumped up, and why not? He does it again with lure.
Horses just now coming on the main track. They'll be parading there for us, and this shouldn't surprise us. We heard about Tussaud. Well, Tussaud is heading right to the turf course with Gary Stevens, and as Gary went by, he said, just so you know, it is 11.5 hours, the flight from Tokyo. Tussaud, of course, undefeated at Hollywood Park on the turf course, 3 for 3. Winner of the Grade 1 Gamely Handicap. She won the Grade 2 American Handicap. Was then 4th in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Notorious bad actor in the paddock and in the parade. That's why they've allowed her to break the parade. She has gone right to the turf course, but she will not be allowed to warm up there. She'll go right to the gate. The rider is Gary Stevens, just returning from Tokyo, Japan, riding in the Japan Cup. He's the nation's 4th leading rider. The stablemate and part of the Gentleman Farm Bobby Frankelton entry is Skimble. This 4-year-old chestnut raced 6 times this year at 4 different tracks. Won the Grade 3 River Cities Budweiser Breeders' Cup at Louisiana Downs, then was second by a head here in the Grade 2 Las Palmas in her last start. The rider, the Hall of Famer, 4-time Eclipse Award winner, Pat Day, flying in from Kentucky to ride Skimble today. 9-5, by the way, on the entry of Tussaud and Skimble. Here's the 2-horse, Elizabeth Bay, $1 million Keeneland sales yearling, making her U.S. debut today, the daughter of Mr. Prospector. She was stakes placed in group races in France, has not won in 6 starts this year. Thierry Jarnet is the rider for Andre Fabre, just won the Citation a little bit earlier on Jeannon. The 3-horse then here is the favorite, and now at even money. This is the bay mare, Flawlessly, in the famed pink and black colors of Lou Wilson's Harbor View Farm. We know Lou and Patrice are watching in Bal Harbor, Florida today as they see their 5-year-old mare, daughter of a firm, the defending Eclipse champion, 2-time winner of the Matriarch, undefeated at Hollywood, 5 for 5. The rider, the Hall of Famer, 3-time winner of this Matriarch Stakes, Chris McCarron. The 4-horse Miss Turkana at 10-1 has won 4 of 6 since trainer Gary Jones added blinkers. Jones also trained the fillies Sire and Dam, Turkoman, and Reigning Countess. The rider Antonio Castañon, one of 10 children from Mexico City from a riding family. He came here to Southern California in the mid-80s. The 5-horse, this is Allie's Bell at 16-1. This is the full sister to racing's all-time leading money earner, Ali Sheba. And they're at $6.6 million. Owned by Clarence Scarborough, bred by Preston Madden's Hamburg Place, daughter of Aladar out of Beersheba. And the leading money earner, Ali Sheba, of course, is her brother, and I'll tell you, she's got a lot to live up to. Corey Nakatani, the rider, pulled off the upset in last Saturday's Hollywood Derby at 22-1 on Explosive Red. The 6-horse is Hero's Love at 5-1, multiple graded stakes winner in Canada and the United States, was 5th in the Yellow Ribbon in her last start. Owned by Canadian Frank Stronach, trained by Gary Jones, and ridden by the newest member of racing's Hall of Fame, Eddie Delahousse. He won the recent Oak Tree meeting and won 2 Breeders' Cup races. That is the field for the Grade 1 Matriarch. You see our field on the main course.
There's Allie's Bell with Corey Nakatani, and Hero's Love is the late closing number 6 horse with Eddie Delahousse. All ready for the start. And they're off. And a beautiful start. On the inside, Elizabeth Bay goes to the front, and Mr. Kenna on the outside is right there. Flawlessly takes her position along the inside, racing third, as Skimble with Pat Day charges up. Now Elizabeth Bay has the lead. From between horses, Mr. Kenna, Skimble on the outside, 3 of them across the track, battle early. It's a gap of 3.5 lengths, and Flawlessly is saving ground along the inside, racing in 4th position. Allie's Bell in the checkered colors, racing 5th. Hero's Love on the outside, and Tussaud is at the back of the pack, 8.5 lengths from the leader, and the leader is Elizabeth Bay, with Thierry Jarnet in the irons, leading it by 3 parts of a length. Miss Turkana is right there in the 2nd spot, and Skimble on the outside with the white cap races 3rd. Then it's a gap of 2.5 lengths. They're starting to tighten up. Allie's Bell is between horses 4th. Hero's Love on the outside is 5th. Flawlessly has not made her move as yet. She's just 3 lengths from the lead, and Tussaud is the trailer. They are tightly bunched, and down the backstretch, Elizabeth Bay, the Bud Long shot, leads it by a neck. And Mr. Ken on the outside is right there in second position. A half length back in the white-capped Skimble is there and now inching up to the leaders. Three of them battling for the lead. Skimble on the outside. Elizabeth Bay, the Bud Long shot, has the lead. And between horses, Mr. Kenna. And here comes Eddie Delahousie with Here's Love on the outside. On the inside, McCarran looks for racing room with Flawlessly and finds it. Here comes Flawlessly, exploding on the inside and taking command. In the middle of the racetrack, here comes Tussaud, charging late and 5 off the rail. And down the stretch they come. Flawlessly on the rail, Tussaud on the outside. Here's the finish of the Matriarch, and the Eclipse Award goes to Flawlessly, winning it by a head on the inside, holding off the late charge of Tussaud. A brilliant effort, a brilliant ride. Flawlessly wins the Matriarch for the 3rd year in a row.
Well, take a deep breath. Lou and Patrice Wilson in Bal Harbor, Florida. Your mare is the champion again in 1993. What a flawless performance by Flawlessly and Hall of Fame rider Chris McCarran. The 5-year-old mare has won the Matriarch for the 3rd year in a row. As Dave Johnson said, only one of the horses ever done that, win a stakes race at Hollywood Park in 3 consecutive years. That, the legendary Native Diver. Chelsea, let's take another look, and it's easy to spot in the bright flamingo colors of Harborview Farm.
Flawlessly launched her move midway on the turn and is able to get racing room right along the rail. But notice on the left of your screen in the pink cap, coming from absolutely last, is her arch rival. Arch rival Tussaud making her move, and as they come through, Flawlessly is looking for the wire, but Tussaud is making up ground as fast as she can on the outside. It turned out to be the rematch we thought, but they just miss at the wire to Tussaud, and Flawlessly is the winner and the champion again.
Chris McCarran, a great ride. The Hall of Fame rider Charlie Whittingham just walked by and tipped his cap. The Hall of Fame trainer will be talking to all of them as Flawlessly wins the Matriarch for the 3rd year in a row.
Chris, and here at the racetrack, let's take a look at the prices. $380, $240, and even more, $280 to show, with Tussaud paying $280 and $280. A Skimble, of course, was coupled with Tussaud and paid the same as the 2nd place horse. The 3-1 exacta, $6.80. And there was a dead heat for 4th between Elizabeth Bay and Hero's Love. A dead heat for 4th, and then Allie's Bell finished 6th, and Mr. Kenna was 7th. It's really a shame that we can't have a tie in this division because...
Grade 1 event. The purse, $500,000, 8 of them traveling 1 mile and 3/16 on a firm turf here at this beautiful racetrack in America's heartland. Let's run down the field of 8 fillies and mares that will be seeking the lion's share of this $500,000 purse. The local favorite, Speedball Early Fire, is one of the best riders on the front end in the business, 6-1. Corizona's in from California with Gary Stevens and Dick Mandela, the trainer, at 7-2. A top-class mare from Europe, Hatouf, 3-1, Walter Swinburne from across the seas to partner Hatouf. Also user-friendly at 9-2 with Chris Anley, another European with back class. A long shot, Potre D, trained by Ron McAnally. Hero's Love with local riding hero Aaron Grider. Weekend Madness will be running late with Shane Sellers, and of course the American Eclipse Award-winning mare on the grass for the last 2 years, Chris McCarran riding Flawlessly. And there is Hatouf. What company lines? Ski Paradise, Big Stone, Azoud, all the top male horses. She won a grade 2 in France in her last run. She may be the best from Europe. This is the best from the United States of America. Trained by 81-year-old Charlie Whittingham, Flawlessly. What an aptly named mare this is. Pick her up on the rail here in 4th. In the Beverly Hills Handicap at Hollywood Park, hopelessly trapped Corazona, who's in this field today, now angling out 4 wide with the white silks and blue Hollywood Wildcat, a wild 3-horse finish. Flawlessly would get 3rd. Corazona would win this by a neck over Hollywood Wildcat. 2 of these 3 are back today. For the call of the Beverly D, upstairs to Dave Johnson.
And what a field. Flawlessly, the last to load. All set. And And they're off in the Beverly D. And one dreamer on the inside quickly scoots to the front. Potre D in the green and white colors into the second spot. Weekend Madness is racing third. Here comes User Friendly, Europe's Horse of the Year in 1992, finding room and moving up into the second spot. Jockey with the white cap there. Flawlessly, the great mare on the outside, is racing fourth. Potre D is back into fifth. Then Corazona is sixth. And then a break of some 6 lengths back to the trailers. Hatouf and Hero's Love is the trailer. They move around the clubhouse turn, and on the inside, One Dreamer still takes the field in front by a length and a half, and User Friendly is in the second spot. Corazona at the rail with Gary Stevens racing third, just 2 1/4 off the lead. Weekend Madness is fourth. On the outside, in the black cap, that's Flawlessly, trained by Charlie Whittingham. McCarron aboard, inching up now and taking fourth position. Weekend Madness is back into fifth. Potre D is sixth. That's Hatouf beginning to close a bit of ground, and the Hero's Love is the trailer. The half in 47-3 on this firm turf course as they go to the far turn. On the inside, it's One Dreamer leading only by 3/4 of a length, and here comes Corazona, a close-up second as Flawlessly makes a bid on the inside. Now racing in third position. Weekend Madness is next as User Friendly drops back, and Hatouf with Walter Swinburne looks for some racing room. They turn for home. It's One Dreamer who's led from the start, in front by a length. Corazona with the blaze face in second. On the outside, Flawlessly is third. Hatouf is flying, and down the stretch they come. One Dreamer with early fires. Flawlessly between horses. Hatouf gobbling up ground on the outside. Here comes Hatouf, and Hatouf, who was fifth on the Breeders' Cup turf last year, wins the Beverly D in 1:55-2. Far back in the early going with Walter Swinburne aboard, and with One Dreamer on the front end trying to go as far as she could, as fast as she could. It was Hatouf, the horse with the big class and the horse who had beaten the boys in Europe, coming home the winner unofficially in the Beverly D.
As we build it at the top, the best from Europe against the best from the United States of America. This is what international racing is all about, folks. Hatouf and Flawlessly, 2 5-year-old mares with giant hearts dueling in a deep stretch run. And how about that One Dreamer on the lead, the gray with early fires, trying to nurse every ounce of energy, trying to take this field flagpole to finish. But Flawlessly, second out with McCarron, furiously driving, and Swinburne 3 out from the rail with Hatouf, a 3-horse photograph. But the pictures will show that the classy Hatouf would beat Flawlessly by a head. One Dreamer third, and Potre D a fast-charging fourth. There she is, Hatouf, the unofficial winner. Let's go back to the spa and Chris Lincoln.
Thank you, Bob. What a way to get us started here on our Racing to the Breeders' Cup Series. Hatouf, who you see there, 5th in last year's Breeders' Cup Turf. We'll see here on Racing's Championship Day. You can bet on that November 5th at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky.
A Grade 1 winner across the seas, now a Grade 1 winner here in the United States. Her name is Hatouf, and she was a thrilling winner over Flawlessly. Let's show you the prices for Hatouf, $7.80 to win. And the exacta combining Flawlessly and Hatouf worth $23.20 running time, 1:55 2/5. With the winning connections, my pleasure to throw it to Leslie Visser.